a sinner, left my lover crying on the dance floor. I'm a sinner, I'm a sinner.
Welcome back to Angel with Broken Wings, a Snoot game, mod or offshoot, whichever one you'd like to call it. I'm definitely not a morning person. Every part of my body is just screaming to go back to bed. Just gotta ignore it. I have to push through it. Knowing my schedule, I can't afford to jack off. What luck, though. As I'm looking over my schedule again, I actually feel at ease knowing I only have one class less today. Left today, because the teacher after the caveman called in sick. However, I certainly am not going to waste time today. It'd be a good idea to get what I need left from myself and my classes for the semester and punch through with tutoring thing. Plus, I actually have to start processing of actually getting to class at a reasonable time. As much as I didn't want to overload myself, I thought setting the tutoring to the afternoon would be a good idea. Just in case, I made sure to look over my schedule again as I make my way to my first class of the day. After coming to terms with my new reality, I focus on actually jazzing myself up. So I start reading my goddamn schedule proper. And there it is, the dread's back. That didn't last long. Come on, Ed, try to focus on good news. Today and Thursday are relatively free. Just a couple classes on those days, and on top of it, no classes during the weekend is nice. But fuck, look at the other days. That's 6.5 straight fucking hours of classes. I let out a defeated sigh and pocket my schedule without missing a beat. I make my way to... The last thing I want is for Professor Mercury to chew me out. I just gotta get through the day and then to the tutoring center. As I get there, I find there are more seats open than I expected. I mean, you'd think considering the class is almost starting, there'd be less free seats. But I'm not gonna complain, so I take the first seat I could see before the professor arrives. As I settle down, expecting the same welcome I was getting yesterday, I'm greeted with nothing. Hell, I'm looking around the room and the professor isn't even here. Just as I'm about to ask someone about it, I get my answer. A lanky human walks in like the building's on fire and takes his place behind the podium. Sorry about that class. Was held up thanks to some thought experiments. A wise man once said that there's always a metaphor for everything. Therefore, I decided that it was best not to have Dean Phelps rant at me about the semantics of creative evolution. There is no turning from that red light. What? This reminds me of a topic that was brought up to me in my evolutionary psychology class. Rather than creativity, this one's more of a development of culture. The fuck is going on? How did we get here? It is said that men are shaped and molded into flesh by the gods that created them in their own image. But what of the crows and sheep and dinosaurs? What of the octopi? 65 million years ago, we'd be looking at a very different history for every species on this earth. A domino effect, if you will, a chain reaction that results in potentially the very extinction of all theropod and sauropod species. And we will find out we're not so different from one another in the grand scheme of life. We're just very lucky. But luck isn't going to get you everywhere in life. You need skill, patience, discipline, and determination. Never trade skill for luck. Luck's not a learned trait. That's what separates us from non-sapient animals. I expect the best from all of you. I won't be on top of you for every little thing you say or do, but in return, I expect results. He looks at me expecting another call out, and I brace myself. But instead, he just nods and continues speaking like he had dropped a gallon of acid. They say there's no second chances in life, but having a metaphor pass by us 65 million years ago... Oh god, I'm actually retarded, hold on. They say there's no second chance in life, but having a meteor pass by us 65 million years ago tells you that argument is bullshit. You get 2 chances to make something of yourselves. Now do it and evolve. Now, on to today's lesson. I just stare in amazement. How could anyone sit in this class and expect to understand a single thing this guy said? I know schizos whose heads were more screwed on than this guy. As much as the whole day lagged on, Professor Mercury's insane rambling somewhat struck a chord in me. As I'm thinking about what he said about the second chances more, the realization dawns on me. I have a second chance to get through this shit. What actually is pulling me back? Well, whatever. I'm here now, so I might as well put that second chance to good use. If only it wasn't so fucking packed. What the hell? Why are there so many people here? I thought it was just going to be me and Nazer at this time slot to play catch-up. This was like our only meet-up time to do this. I see the pterodactyl working with some brontosaurus. He picks up his head for a moment, then spots me and then waves. Hey Ed, is that you? Take a seat. I'll be with you in a bit. Right, okay. What a good first impression you're making, Mr. Tutor. After a while, Nazer finally gets around to me. Oh, finally. Thank Raptor Jesus. Didn't keep you waiting for too long, did I? Only a little bit, but it's fine. Well, let's get to it then, shall we? What were your classes like? Internally, script. Oh. I will never make that sound again. Professor Mercury's and Miss Roberts' classes were about the only classes I was able to handle. Anything that you needed to cover over? Just the caveman stuff for now, because I feel he might turn me into pavement lotion any day now. What now? It's a legend and lore thing. Specifically, it's a reference from one of a live stream game's adventure mode. What? Oh, that tabletop thing. My sister's friend is into that game. Yeah, so if you don't mind. Yeah, that's great. Can we please get started? Yeah, let's get started. And with the first page opens, and we go to the very first chapter of biochemistry. The very basics, first of all. Nazer goes over long-winded processes of the first chapter, then the second for the past hour and a half. The pressure building in my head needed a release. I'm struggling to keep up and have to ask Nazer several questions about the same goddamn topic over and over again. Okay, so, he looks at me genuinely concerned. He must be thinking, wow, how did I get caught up in this dumb ape? I just hide my face in my hands and groan. Alright, Ed. Let's just review what we've covered for a bit in chapter 2. This is as basic as it's ever going to get. A chemical is responsible for the red color of blood. What chemical is responsible for the red color of blood? Fuck, Nazer, I don't know. Something about iron? He lights up again. Yes, that's it. Perfect. Simple but perfect. The chemical iron is what gives red blood cells their red color. Alright now. The RNA is made up of nucleotides. It is really hard to do that in this voice. Which are ribose sugars attached to... Oh great, give me one question I get right and you throw another at me that I don't get. I feel like this is a familiar thought. Isn't this from chapter 1? Proteins? No. Ed, no. That's what you get as a result of the RNA's functions. The answer is nitrogenous bases and phosphate groups. These are subjects covered in refresher courses that you missed. He doesn't even hide the frustration in his tone this time. Ed, what's even going on right now? This is basic shit. It's like we didn't process at all yesterday. We didn't progress at all yesterday. How is it that you're this bad at this? It's like you're not even interested in the subject. Because I'm not? Then why give me a hard time? I don't mean to. Fuck. Didn't mean to almost blurt that out. Okay, suck it up, Ed. Just give it to him straight. It's the least you can do for having to put him through hell. Hell, it's not even like I had a choice coming here. My parents threatened to cut me off financially and everything if I ever tried to go into anything that had nothing to do with medical school. Oh God. That's how I got shafted with this bullshit, and you shouldn't have to put up with me. His expression softens a bit. He gestures for me to continue as he sits back in his chair. So I was given 2 options. Live with my grandpa or go to this bullshit university and follow the family tradition. My mom was a doctor, my dad was a doctor, and God help me if I wasn't a doctor too. And this is just adding on to the student debt that we'll probably never pay off. And the last thing I want to do is burden my grandpa with my bullshit. We just sit for what feels like eternity. I'm worried I might have killed the mood until Nazer lets out a deep sigh. So that's how it is, huh? Now I get it. Huh? I've been in your shoes, Ed. Technically, I guess I still am in those kinds of shoes, though I don't deal with my family as much as I used to anymore. Had some high expectations from my parents, especially from my father. Trust me, it can be soul-crushing. I know it might not seem like much in the coming future, but you're going to get through this, Ed. We're just going to have to find a better way to get you easily retain this without losing interest. Thanks, that still doesn't change the fact that I hate it, but if I could just bullshit my way through, maybe. Okay, I get it. How about this? Every 30 minutes we take a break. We can just chat and get to know each other for a few minutes, then we move to a different subject. That way you shouldn't get burnt out so quickly. I consider it for a moment before agreeing. At this point, I'm willing to try anything if it means making this whole process less painful. Sure, let's try that. Great, now, let's start with going over some of the refresher courses again. Just stop me when there's something you don't get, okay? Alright, lay it on me. Over the next half an hour, we go through the material from the beginning. Instead of dwelling on specific information, we start by how the broader topics connect, and go into more detail from there, moving from the topic to topic regularly. Eventually, it almost starts to feel like a conversation, with me participating more and more as the pieces start to come together in my head. The way he explains it to me felt like the time I worked on my first programming language for a buddy's Flash project. Then the ribosomes, take mRNA, and use amino acids that pair with a sequence to make proteins, right? Yeah, you got it, man. And to think you barely knew what RNA was even was yesterday. You're a good teacher? He scoffs. Sure, it's totally not just you having gone over this stuff in high school already. Anyway, how about we have a break now? Fine by me, so, how was high school? Hello, awkward silence, my old friend. Man, that's the face of could have picked a better topic I ever did see. Oh shit, sorry. If you didn't want to talk about it, you don't need to. No, it's okay. You just caught me off guard. Let's see. Well, I was quite popular back then. Started out in track and field back in freshman year. Catching that much attention wasn't exactly what I was used to either. But it was an experience. I did get to make some friends, so, that's always a plus. It's also had my sister to look out for, and trust me, that wasn't easy. Well, aside from that, you make it sound like you had fun. Got any girls there you liked? Well, there was one, but the relationship felt superficial. We broke up some time ago, though. It's complicated. And part of it had to do with my sister. Oof, what happened? Did they fight? What? No, I wouldn't go that far. She just had these unrealistic expectations of what relationships were like. Some of that might be partially my fault. Not that I know anything about relationships, but I do not think unrealistic expectations are any of his fault. Then again, I played low-scale corridors. Well, better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Sure, that's cheesy. Let's talk about you now, huh? What was that? He looked conflicted when I said that. Well, I went to Stonehenge High, one of those high school standard rich kids kind of high schools way upstate. After middle school, my parents were adamant in wanting me to go there. And, the other options were places like Rock Bottom. Honestly, does a school called Rock Bottom inspire any kind of confidence? Nope, not with how Spam had described it. Dirty and high crime area, a bunch of pushovers and people posting naked photos of you over the bathroom walls. More like projecting his cringe collection of anime waifus. Oh, was it shit? So yeah, it was only a decision they made for me that I couldn't deny was a great experience. Made some IRL friends, and some of the electives were pretty fun. IRL? In real life. Most of the friends I've made were online. Half of the population here are into things I'm not, and my standings align more on the centric side. Oh, so you're a fence sitter. Got it. You jerk. I don't blame you, though. Recently, I'm the same way, but online, huh? Yeah, most of the friends I've made were on stone grounds. Fuck yeah! Before he even asked, I explained. It's a website for hosting art, music, animation, and games. It was really popular when I was growing up, so I got into it young. Whoa, that sounds like a pretty neat place. I wonder why I never heard of it before. And you animate, right? What kind of stuff did you make? The edgiest shit you can find. But that was back in my middle school days. My craft became more refined. You wouldn't like my old stuff. I don't even like it. But... Bro, you are preaching to the motherfucking choir. I don't even like what I make now. To be fair to everyone before you get mad and say, I like that parody, most creators are like this. We don't like what we make because we watch it and think we can do better. I don't think I've ever met a creator that's like, oh my god, this is perfect. Also, fuck you. You wouldn't like my old stuff. I don't even like it. But you can go ahead and tell me in the comments that you like my stuff. It makes me feel good. But I did make a fun little piece about an Amazonian Tyrannosaurus warrioress kicking ass to save her skinny human lover. I'd like to see something like that someday. Anyways, break over. Let's see the next section. Then comes another 30 minutes of work, only this time I didn't want to bash my head against the table. So, genetic variations that alter the gene activity or protein functions can introduce different changes. If the traits are advantageous and help the individual survive and reproduce, it'll likely be passed on to the next generation. This process is called natural selection, since it is adapting positive traits that have diverged from the parent in order to propagate. There we go. You're getting the hang of it. It sure helps considering this isn't my thing. Well, look at it this way. You'll not lose your head going through this. Okay, fair. Break time? Break time. So, got any family? Aside from your parents? Well, there's my grandpa. He was a World War II vet. This jacket was a gift he gave to me before I left for college. Whoa, that's quite a gift. He must be quite the character. That's an understatement. Oh man, he's the greatest. He'd always tell me war stories in awesome and also terrifying detail. He let out a sheepish chuckle at that. He sounds cool. Anyone else? Well, there's my cousin Rudy. He's a bit on the hyper side, but we were pretty much inseparable back when we were kids. There's also Uncle Rule on my father's side. Love the bastard. Any siblings? Nope. So you get along better with your extended family than your actual family, huh? Yeah, kind of sad, isn't it? I mean, I wouldn't say that's exactly a sad thing. How about you? You mentioned a sister, right? Yeah, Fang, Lucy, whatever she calls herself. Our relationship wasn't exactly the best for a few years, but I think we're on better terms now. Then there's Mom and Dad. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know they meant well, but they could get overbearing, overwhelming, very traditionally mindseted, have high expectations thrust upon you. Yeah. You said it yourself, didn't you? We're on the same boat, more or less. So, anyone else? If you count my Uncle Mo as extended family, then yeah, there's him. I'd say your uncle counts, man. Oh, no, we're just calling him Uncle Mo. He's a friend of our dad's. Yeah, that's pretty common. You might have heard of him, Dynamo? Wait, like the restaurant chain? Holy hell, your dad knows Dynamo. Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. Him and Dad usually go bowling on Friday nights, or at least we used to before I was sent off to college. That's so cool. Yeah, he's great though. Sometimes I get the feeling that he might be involved in brr, brr. A rather audible rumble broke through our conversation. I look around for the source, and it takes only a second for me to figure out that it was coming from Nazer. Your phone, I take it? Yeah, give me a moment. Nazer picks himself up and pulls out his cell phone.
Hello? Oh, hey, Tess. Yeah, I'm here. Where are you? Couldn't you just walk here? He lets out a rather loud, audible sigh. Oh, fine, I'll be there. Just stay where you are so I can come get you. Click. Well, we're about near the end anyways. Duty calls? Something like that. Think you got everything covered over here? I think I got it covered. Thanks, Naz. Same time tomorrow. Nazer turns to check out the library and the courtyard outside. I guess it's time for me to head out as well. To be continued. So that was it for the demo of Angel with a Broken Wing. So we're going to be looking at lots more demos. I know I said we were going to put these by trial by fire, but I'm not that fucking cruel, guys. So I'm not going to tell you what the next one is, but hopefully you guys enjoy this. It'll be demos, mods, offshoots. I will send a ton of things by the fabulous people at Svengali Studios who got these all together for me. So I hope you guys enjoy. Please give some love to these developers and the developers of Snoot Game. And hopefully we'll be playing their new game when it's out. Check out the demo we did for it called I Wanny Hug That Gator. Check out my other channel called Sinfully Pure. And I will see you guys next time. Have a fantastic day. Bye.